What's up, Wildcats? Welcome back to the Dorm Room Sports Chat. I'm your host, Annie Marum, alongside our three analysts, Derek Fazenden, Brittany McMorris, and Zach Clark. Tonight, we talk about the men's basketball team road sweep and how the wins might affect the rest of the season. The basketball team traveled to the Bay Area this weekend to take on the California Golden Bears, who came into this game so far undefeated at home. Bears went up early under the lead of Jorge Gutierrez. Jumps a 2 right here to put the Golden Bears up by 13. But the Cats have an answer. Who? Josiah Turner finding Brandon Lavender for a dunk, and it didn't stop there. Cats on defense. Here we go, Cats on defense. But wait, Solomon Hill steals the ball and dunks it in. Cats still on attack. Kyle Fogg for the 3. Give the Cats their first lead since the first 2 minutes of the game. But Jorge Gutierrez won't go away easily. He brings in the reverse to bring the score to 70-72, just 4 minutes to go. Josiah Turner ready to do it again. Gets a little too fancy with the ball, turns it over. Justin Cobb is there to put it in the basket, and the game is tied at 72. All right, we're going to find Kyle Fogg here again. Just under a minute to go, and 75-72 Arizona. With just 12 seconds to go left in the game, Justin Cobbs goes up, but no, Nick Johnson is there for the block. Nick Johnson with that block. Let's take a look at that again. Cobb wants a goaltending call, but it's no good, and the game is over. Cats win this one 78-74.
That's a close one.
Now on to Saturday as the Cats take on the 16-6 Stanford Cardinals. We start this game the same way we ended the other one. Another block by Nick Johnson. Johnson getting eye level with the basket to say, not up in here. Cats still hot hand as Solomon Hill takes it straight to the basket with a one-handed slam. But Stanford's Josh Owens says, not so fast. Ties the game at 35 here with the easy layup. Stanford trying to do it again here. Nope, here comes Angelo Chol getting physical for the denial. Jesse Perry here puts the Cats up 1, and they won't go down again. Doesn't mean the Cardinals won't try. Josiah Turner with the steal and the two-hand dunk to his fellow freshman Nick Johnson. Brandon Lavender trying to quiet the crowd here as they start a U of A chant at an away game. But that's it. The game's over. Let's take another look at Johnson's dunk. And the Cats win this one 56-43. And accomplish something no one saw coming. 2 wins on the road, making Arizona the first team to sweep the Bay Area. All right, we've got some questions here for our analyst. Angelo Chol had a breakout weekend. Throwing down dunks, swatting the ball every chance he got. Is it time to put Chol in the starting lineup, which would allow Fogg, Hill, and Perry to slide into their more natural positions? What do you think here, Derek?
Yeah, I say why not? I mean, you look at the results, what happened during this road trip, 2-0, pretty impressive stuff. I know the Pac-12 is weak, but when you look at it, Cal hadn't lost all at home all year, and I think there's only been 3 teams to sweep road series in the Pac-12 this year. And Joel's a big part of it. His presence defensively especially, he's really, I think when you look at this team as a whole, this guy was probably the rawest talent coming into the year, and he's probably made the biggest leap, I have to say, overall.
And how much more comfortable is a guy like Jesse Perry playing the 4 as opposed to the 5, and you slide him down, and it follows from there. I think without question, you start him now, and if it doesn't work, what do you have to lose? You're already playing small to begin with. I mean, and I think one thing we can take away from the evolution of Angelo Chol is the elimination of Kirill Natsiatko from the lineup almost completely.
Well, and I think it's safe to say he's gotten his fair shot at things.
Hey, third season, he's got to be better than he is right now. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a little focus on Sean Miller, who won his 3rd round match to advance in the Shots from the Heart free throw contest. Through the first 3 rounds of this event, Miller has connected on 73 of 75 free throws and scored 164 of a possible 168 points. How does Miller pass on his success to his players? who went 15 of 29 at Cal and 15 of 25 at Stanford. Brittany, what do you think?
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Well, let's talk about a coach who is very talented still, being the age that he is. But I think that he has to take it to practice. Practice, preparation is the only thing that can prepare these kids to make 3 points.
Yeah, I gotta completely disagree with you. This is something you gotta be practicing on your own. You can't be going to practice and saying, we're going to take valuable practice time to shoot free throws. If these kids don't want to practice free throws on their own.
Yeah, but when you're by yourself, you don't have distractions, unlike at practice.
True. I don't know. Maybe you bring like some of your boys out to like cheer you on or something, or boo in your face.
throw things.
But what's to stop these kids from taking 500 free throws a day? I mean, I know that the student athletes are very busy, but if this is what you do and you need to do it well, there's no excuse for shooting as low a percentage as they have the last couple of games. It's a miracle they won back-to-back road games shooting so poorly from the charity stripe. There's no excuse.
Well, and I know some of the basketball managers anyway. They practice their shooting a lot.
Of course.
Just shoot free throws. You can shoot your threes too, but practice the free throws. I think it's more of a fatigue factor too when you get late into the game, and I think you need to practice maybe at the end of practice, going along with what Brittany said, and maybe practice shooting while you're fatigued. I think that's a big thing, but it's got to improve. Bottom line, it's unacceptable at this level of basketball to be shooting the way they are from the line.
Free throws should be the easiest shots for them to make.
Yep.
Free throws.
Right.
Exactly.
Enough said. Baby.
All right, well, that unexpected road sweep brought Arizona back into discussion for the conference contenders as the rest of the Pac-12 teams seem to fall apart one by one. How important is it to keep this streak alive, Zach?
Well, I think at this point it's extremely important, especially when you consider where Arizona is in their schedule. They will come home and play 2 games at home. You have to win at home. As hard as it has been to win on the road, Arizona proved last weekend that they can do it, but you have to take the ones that come home, especially against a team like Utah and Colorado as well, as they look for some maybe revenge in that 1-point loss from a month ago. So I think winning right now is immensely important for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think Joe Lunardi has them as what?
Last four in, and that won't stay if they don't keep winning.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that too, because we talked about a couple of shows ago, this team doesn't have any more chances for big quality wins, so pretty much you're going to have to add all these up and just kind of hope for an overall pretty solid resume. Personally, I think at the end of the day it's still going to come down to the Pac-12 tournament, but hey, if they play... I'm not even going to say if they play like they did in the Bay Area, because they didn't play that well, let's be honest, against Stanford. So, I don't know. They're going to have to play better, but I love the wins. Keep them coming.
All right, well, despite the success over the weekend, the basketball team is still hurting. Find out who and where when we come back.
I'm Derek Williams, the former U of A Wildcat. You're watching UATV. Don't change the channel.
UATV 3 UATV 3 When I turn on the TV, I turn it to channel 3, cause they got all the greatest shows that I've been waiting to see. It's entertaining to me, cause it's pertaining to me and all the other Wildcats in the student body. We're broadcasting live to all the residence halls, so all y'all's in the halls, turn your TVs on to channel 3 for Sheezy, so you can see me and all the other happy people down at UATV 3.
Welcome back to the Dorm Room Sports Chat. Of course, I am Zach Clark. The injury bug is back with a vengeance on the Arizona men's basketball team. Evan Murray is here with me, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. Kevin Parham was lost, Evan, last Saturday with a broken right foot. He is out for the season, of course, halting the progress he had made since he suffered injuries off of the court before the season started. Jordan Mays fell on Thursday. He was lost at halftime with an injured left foot. His return is questionable. He missed the Stanford game on Saturday and, of course, the second half of the California game. Evan, what do each one of these guys bring individually to the table for this basketball team?
Well, let's start with Kevin Parham. I think that, he spreads the floor, and we want to talk mostly. I mean, we can talk about what he does as a player, but more than anything, I think he brings so much emotion to this team. And with how we've kind of lagged throughout the season, maybe I think that's really important to this Wildcat team.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk about a guy like Kevin Parham, and again, his emotion is raw and it's pure, and we've talked all year long, Evan, about the Wildcats needing to find an emotional leader on this
Right.
basketball team. It was talked, everybody assumed that Solomon Hill would be the one. He hasn't really been there in that role, and I'm not sure if that's his fault, but Kevin Parham, it's a huge, huge loss, losing a guy like him, especially in the locker room. Now, Jordan Mays, much more of a quiet guy, at least vocally, but he brings a big shot.
Right. We need him at the three-point line. That's pretty obvious. And just to help Josiah more than anything to have that depth in the bench is where we need him at.
Right, because now you have to rely on a freshman point guard with limited backup. Obviously, you have Brendan Lavender there, but it's been decided that it goes 1, 2, 3 with Lavender being third. Now we must fill up in that backup role, and so it'll be interesting. You talked about what it does for other people. You started off with that. Angelo Chol, 36 minutes, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 blocks over the weekend. Talk about what guys like him have to do now that they're a much shorter bench for the Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, I think Kevin Parham being gone and Jordan Mays being gone, the emotion of it makes other players step up. And for a freshman, I think he needed that,
Spark?
Yeah, spark to everyone needed to tell him that he could do it. And I think that's what Angelo Chol needed, because we all know he's talented, but has he stepped up? No, but finally I think this past weekend he has, and he's really showed people what he can do for the team.
And he did it in a time when the Wildcats needed it the most. This sweep was vital for the Wildcats. They went out there and they got it with only 2 guys coming off the bench on Saturday. And Evan, you touched on this with the emotion that you bring to the table when you lose a player or
Right.
two. You win one for the Gipper. We'll do this one for Kevin. This one's for Jordan, so on and so forth. How long can that emotion last, Evan? Can they parlay that throughout the season? Can they keep that going?
That's a tough one. You don't know until the next game, Colorado. But I don't see that happening, unfortunately. We wanted to, but I don't
It's
know.
tough. It's going to be tough. And, there's no doubt Kevin Parham is out for the season. That is not debatable. There is no question there. But Jordan Mays' return is questionable, and I think you might not get him Thursday, but I think Saturday is a reasonable estimate. So hopefully Arizona won't have to know what it's like to go through all season long. Jordan Mays, 5.8 points a game, just over 1 assist, 1.5 rebounds, and 18.3 minutes. And if you look at Kevin Parham, 5 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in 15 minutes. The Wildcats have to go elsewhere to find this, and it'll be interesting to see, Evan, from where they get it. I think we can expect Angelo Chol to have continued, and I think at this point now, you might see him in the starting lineup. What do you think about that? Just a twist, because then it would allow everybody else to play their more natural positions, and now maybe is the time with a short bench.
That would be an option I think Sean Miller should act upon. I don't know. I think that is a good prediction.
Because then you can put Jesse Perry back to the 4, and he won't have to play as an undersized center.
Yeah, I can see that.
Make sense? I'm
Makes
digging
sense.
it. We'll see what happens. Wildcats play 7:30 on Thursday right here in Tucson against Colorado. When we come back, we'll talk a little Super Bowl. Stay tuned.
UATV 3 UATV 3 When I turn on the TV, I turn it to channel 3, cause they got all the greatest shows that I've been waiting to see. It's entertaining to me, cause it's pertaining to me and all the other Wildcats in the student body. We're broadcasting live to all the residence halls, so all y'all's in the halls, turn your TVs on to channel 3 for Sheezy, so you can see me and all the other happy people down at UATV 3.
Listen to this track, bitch.
All right, well, the New England Patriots and the New York Giants gave us another classic Super Bowl, the final score of 21-17 Giants. Let's take a look back at how close our analysts were in their predictions last week.
Don't see the Giants defense being able to stop him either, so I'm gonna go over on this one.
I don't know. I'm going under, you guys. You guys
all right.
under.
Right, yeah, I'm going over. I'm going way over. I'm going to double it. I think he's going to come. And I've been saying this for weeks. Part of this is to back myself up. I've been saying for weeks that I believe that he will be with the right game, the Super Bowl MVP. And to do that, you'd think you'll have to have at least 120 yards. So I'm going to double. I'm going way over. I think the Patriots are going to win in a landslide. I'm taking 38-21 Patriots over the Giants. It's redemption from 2008.
Yeah, I think this may be a moment where we come back a week from now, we're all wrong on this, because I'm taking the Pats too. I'm taking the Pats too, 35-31. Brady's going to score with, 3 minutes left. And I think, ironically, the Patriots secondary is going to come up big and win the Super Bowl for them.
Well, Derek, you were right about something, you all being wrong. Unfortunately, Gronkowski was not as healthy as the Patriots would have liked. Almost a catch in the end zone at the final play, but almost wasn't enough. Gronk finished this game with 2 receptions and a total of 26 yards. While none of our analysts picked the Giants to win, Brittany was closest with the under on the 55.5 and a prediction of a low-scoring game that came down to the wire. Analysts, should you be allowed back in the building after your obvious inaccuracies? I'm looking at you, Zach, Derek.
Come on.
What was that about? What happened or didn't happen that threw your predictions off?
I'll let you start.
All right, well, I mean, I can't say I'm too surprised by me being wrong. I'm like 0-50 to my last 50 bets here, so add 3 more to that total. But you know what? I think really what happened, I know it's going to sound obvious, but Gronkowski he's been a big factor for this team all year long, and this is an ankle injury. This isn't some small injury here. This affects how he runs on the field and affects how fast he can go. And this guy, for a big guy, he's normally very fast and very agile, and he just wasn't himself. And I think you got to give the Giants a little bit of credit as well. But it was easy because they could double up Hernandez and lay off Gronk a little bit, and Brady just never got into a rhythm. And then you have all the drops the receivers had. So
Yeah, and I think one of the problems that I had was I greatly underestimated Eli Manning and the backfield as well for the Giants. They had a great game on the ground. Eli Manning was fantastic. He made all the right throws at all of the right times. And that really, I think, was the difference in this game. You look especially there at the end. He led that drive methodically, which, you could tell they maybe scored a little bit too early, but still, he was right there on point when he had to be, and I didn't think he had it in him for the second time, so that was what threw me off.
Right, but I ask you guys, what is your biggest takeaway from last night's big game?
Biggest takeaway, I think Zach, you already touched on it. I mean, Eli's, I think it's official now. He has a bigger legacy and he's a better quarterback than his brother. If rings are what the game's about, he's got 2, his brother has 1. It's as simple as that. And he stepped up big time. I didn't think he would do it again, and I didn't think he would beat the same team twice, let alone the Patriots, who I'm shocked. I'm still a little shocked by it. So
He has a lot of leadership on the team.
absolutely. No, absolutely.
Speaking of Eli Manning, I have to ask the question that everybody is asking. Has Eli Manning supplanted his older brother Peyton and his father Archie as the best Manning quarterback?
I mean, Derek, you already answered it.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Brittany instead.
Well, I think he already has, and honestly, I couldn't agree with you more, Derek. So
Wow. Let's
Thank
record
you.
that. I don't think you'll
Thank
ever say
you.
that again. But
Right? No. You know what? I'm at this point, I'm not buying it yet. I mean, obviously, when you
no, I don't. No.
Hold on. And you say what you will. When you look at it by the rings, 2 is more than 1. But if you look at it from a pure passer standpoint, who has all of the numbers?
yeah, but
Who?
Okay.
It's a pretty simple question.
His career's over.
Okay,
though.
Manning
I
has the number.
I don't think it
Okay.
is over. I don't think it is over. I think
I don't agree.
the fact that he was willing to agree to play for a no money up front, guaranteed contract makes me believe that I think that he's going to come back and play pretty well. So now he's only 1 Super Bowl behind. It's not like Eli's got 4 and Peyton Manning is retired with none. There's only a disparity of 1. So at this point, I think that Eli, bigger contract, more Super Bowls, but his numbers don't match up yet for me.
Yeah, but at the same time, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, it's not like we're comparing Robert Horry to LeBron James either. Robert Horry with 5 rings and LeBron with 0. So,
right. No, we're
so
much closer.
I know the ring argument's kind of lame, but
No, it's not lame. It's not the
but
end all be all
Eli
for me.
still has the stats that compares with his brother. And I
No,
think
he doesn't. He doesn't. His numbers are far short of anything that Peyton Manning has
he's
done.
also been in the league far less time.
Right, so then
That's
far
true.
less
So then
time.
let's have this
That's true.
conversation in 10 years when they're both retired. To me, it's kind of how I like to keep it because it's too early to tell.
Well, we're not. We're having it right now.
I know, and so I told you what I think. So there
I'll
you
tell
go.
you what I know.
Oh,
It's
there,
fact.
boys.
Fact.
All right, well,
Dogfight.
everybody, mark your calendars for when we have that reunion. You don't want to miss it. It's time for the final word. Each one of these analysts will have 30 seconds to discuss their topic of choosing. I'm going to toss it up to Derek. Your 30 seconds starts now.
All right, well, I'm going to take a little credit for this Bay Area sweep we got going this weekend because I was up in the Bay Area this weekend. Very fun time, and we got 2 wins, so I think I'm just going to start going on every road trip. But I will say this. I had a little encounter on the street, got a little sick, and I've now learned that I am a lower class than a bum because a bum, I kind of puked on the side of the road, and a bum ran away from me, so just saying.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it was a little embarrassing. I just thought I had to lay that out there, and I'll just say it on TV here. So there it is.
All right, don't know if that was 30
No problem.
seconds or a confessionary,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, what is
Brittany,
this?
Well, I didn't go to church, so. Yeah.
Brittany, your 30 seconds starts now.
Thanks, Derek, for letting us into your personal life over the weekend. But as for my 30 seconds, I'm going to stand up and look at my girl, Gisele Bündchen, who is the wife of Tom Brady. She stood up for her husband when she was waiting for the elevator in the stadium as some fans kind of hackled her about her husband's performance during the Super Bowl. And she kind of told him, you know, he can't throw the ball and catch it at the same time. So I'm going to stick up for her, and I'm proud of her, so I would do the same thing.
She used a couple words you didn't use
Yeah.
in that sentence, too, right?
PG.
It's a PG program here.
All right, Zach, take your 30 seconds and run with it.
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow Derek scaring away a bum on the street by throwing up next to him. You completely caught me off. You completely told. I want to give you my 30 seconds back and hear the rest of the story.
There's too much. There's too much. There's a lot more. I could go to death. We need 30 hours, though.
All right, so I guess that'll be a segment on next week's episode
We'll do
about
a segment,
why
Life in the Day of Derek Faison. It's
why
an
why
interesting
DJ
one.
Derek Fessenden threw up in the Bay, why he threw up in the Bay Area. So I'm just gonna, I guess we'll leave that book.
Hey, rough nights, my man.
Leave it open.
You work hard, you play hard.
All right. Well,
Somebody
we
get us
want
outta
to
here.
send a congratulations out to our own Kyle Fogg, who was named Pac-12 Player of the Week today. That's going to wrap up tonight's show of Dorm Room Sports Chat. Next week, tune in for our breakdown of the men's basketball team as they take on Colorado and Utah. For Zach, Derek, and Annie, and Brittany, I'm Annie Marham. See you next week. For Live TV.